So my game plan today, what is my game plan? Taking my broom and sweeping all the ceilings, all the walls, and then when I get done with that, I'm going to take the vacuum and vacuum up the carpet from all the dust. If you would have this in a microscope, you would see all the dust flying off of these walls and the ceilings and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, that's going to be down on the carpet, and I'm just going to spend the time and vacuum. No biggie. I don't mind doing that. I got the whole upstairs to do. Hopefully you've been watching my videos and you've seen a few videos before this one on different things that I've done here and that I'm getting ready to do. And I'm gonna make more videos too of some different things of when I'm painting and all that. I got to get a carpet guy here to stretch the carpets, re-stretch the carpets, and do all that. Now see this area here, I got up there and removed the air return and left the filter up there. And while I was up there, I wiped the ceiling from the corner over to the ledge here, at least that far. And then I did the walls while I was up there. It was really dusty. And I did the top edge of that little landing up there and swept all that, scraped up a little bit of stuff, vacuumed that all, so I don't have to do that. So I just have to go from this edge on down, kaboom, and do, am I going to sweep down the closets too? Yeah, I am. I'm going to sweep those down, sweep down this whole thing. I'm going to get up here as high as I can with the ladder and my broom and sweep that stuff down. Eventually I'm going to have to bring my extension ladder over here to get up there to paint the ceiling, to paint the skylight well, and to paint these walls up there, because I only have a 8-foot ladder here, 8-foot fiberglass ladder, and that's going to only get me up there so close. And plus the ceiling's going to be white and the walls are going to be a different color, so I'm going to have to cut in. Had I not done that, I might have been able to use an extension paint pole, let's say, with my 8-foot ladder, and then when I get done with the roller, then I could cut in. I could attach a paintbrush and wrap that with some duct tape or something and cut in, or not just do the corners, because everything is the same color. See, but because the ceiling's going to be white and the walls are going to be a different color, I can't really do that. I'm going to have to get up there by hand with the paintbrush and cut it in and stuff. I could attach a paintbrush to my extension rod and cut in the ceiling that way and not worry about some of the white paint getting on the wall, right? I could just slap that paint up there, do, kind of a halfway decent job on cut in. But if some gets on the wall, no biggie. Then once I do the walls, I'd have to get up there and then I'll cut in the walls to the ceiling. That's how you do that. I never like to do walls and then cut in the wall to the ceiling and then do the ceiling after that. Doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be as efficient as possible, trying to help you as best I can so that you can do it, so that you can do it yourself. You don't have to hire a painter to do all this stuff. Yeah, if you did, bye-bye $8,000 or $9,000. Okay? Instead, you got to pay for some paint, and pretty much after that, it's manual labor, And I think you can do that. All right, enough of that. I'm gonna get things situated down in the garage, and then hightail it up there to the ceiling and start wiping these walls down. Oh, and this, see, there was another air return way up there. And so while I was up there, I got up on that landing. There's a little landing up there, see? And I've already vacuumed all that. I've wiped down the ceiling from this area here, from here down to here, and I did the wall section there, and so I didn't get any dust and stuff on top of here. And then I swept that, and then I actually used my vacuum with the vacuum attachments and vacuumed the top of that and the top of that over there as well, so I don't have to get up there. So I'm gonna have a nice easy day today. And man, it took me all day getting those doors prepped and painted and figured out. By the time I got the roller out, it was close to 4 o'clock yesterday, and I thought, I want to get these done. We're in the middle of winter, and we got kind of a hot spell right now in the low 60s, believe it or not. Mid-winter in the low 60s? Are you kidding me? And so it's going to be like that for another 4 or 5 days. So I thought, hey, I'm going to paint the doors now instead of painting the condo. If it turns cold, it's going to turn cold in 4 or 5 days, and we're even going to get some snow. I'm like, hey, no problem. All my doors are painted, and I'll be working inside the nice warm condo, doing the painting in here and stuff like that. Because if it was lower than 40 degrees, did you know you're not supposed to paint if it's lower than 40 degrees? Because the paint buckets, the paint cans tell you it's not recommended to do that, especially if you're going to paint semi-gloss doors. You're going to have a heck of a time having the paint go on there properly and having it dry and cure properly. As it is, these are going to be sitting out here for, probably, like I say, 4 or 5 days, maybe even more, because there's no need for me to take these into the condo until all my painting's done. So I've got to prep the walls, I've got to caulk certain areas on here and around the window openings and the window frames and door jambs in certain areas. I've got to do some caulking and stuff. Then I got to do all the painting, and I'll do all of the painting, all the ceilings, all the walls, all the baseboard, all the door frames, all the window stools. I'll get all of that done before I even bring these doors back into the condo. Okay, and as for that, here's a garage door that goes from the condo to the actual garage. This one I didn't paint yet. I've got it cleaned, I've got it sanded, I've got it wiped down, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this one in place. This is a solid core door. It's 1 3/4 inches. It's really heavy, and I'm going to be changing the hardware on it and stuff, and I don't have the hardware just yet. It's got a self-closing hinge on the top, self-closing hinge on the bottom, so I can't just pop this off with 3 hinge pins and set the door down. You see what I'm saying? And if I did that, then I'd get the cold air, because we're in the winter, from the garage coming into the condo all day long. And then, after I painted this, I would be like, okay, I'm gonna have to put it back up, and I want to let it cure for 3 or 4 days before I put hinges back on it, in case I get any paint up in here. I don't want the hinges to stick on there. I don't want door handles to stick and stuff. So as it is, what my thought here is, I'm going to take this weather stripping out. Okay, it's in a groove there for the door jamb, because the door jamb is going to be painted too. And I don't really care about these old hinges. I'm going to be replacing these with some different hinges. So I'm going to paint this door in place with the paintbrush and stuff. If I get a little paint on these door hinges, I don't really care. Okay, but I'll do the best I can on this. And I'm going to paint this all in place. I will take the deadbolt out, take the doorknob off, and then when I get done painting the door, I'll just leave it pushed up in here. And worst case scenario, the door's going to be like this when I'm not here. Okay, granted, I'm going to get a little bit of air coming in from the garage, not a whole lot, and the holes through where the doorknobs are. And I took the door shoe off the bottom, so I've got air coming in through there. But at least this will kind of keep some of the cold out, and I'll just let the door sit here, curing for 5 or 6 days before I decide to put new hardware on it, put the new handles on, and all that kind of stuff. And initially, when we got this condo, Momi wanted me to change the locks on here, so I changed the keys for these two and for the front door. I took them out. I actually took them to a locksmith guy. He did it at his office. It saved me about $75 to $100 because he didn't have to send his mobile van unit over here and do them in place. You know, anytime you do it something like that, it's going to cost you about $100 more, so 75 to $100 more. Okay, and so that was to keep this door locked and secured, to keep the front door locked and secured, in case somebody were to open the garage. Maybe the last person has one of the garage door openers. Maybe they wanted to come in here and mess around or something. You never know, right? And of course, when we got the place, did the last previous owner have any of the handheld remotes to open up the garage door? Of course they didn't. They never do. Okay, so my thought is, and this is what I'm doing, when I don't have the doorknobs on here, after I get it painted, obviously it's going to be unsecured, the garage, right? Well, it is going to be secured, because what I did is I unplugged the garage door opener up there, and I actually, you know, all garage doors have an area here where you can lock it. Okay, so I locked that last night because I left all my stuff in here, and this morning I thought I better unplug that. That way, in case we come in here and we want to open the garage, and we hit the garage door button here, nothing's going to happen. Because if you got the power on, if you turn that on, it's just going to kind of buzz, and then hopefully there's a button on there. If it heats up, it'll shut off, but it's going to try to open. You know what I mean? With it locked. So in case you ever lock it, you go on vacation or something, you know, remember to unlock it before you before you try to open the garage door. And so there's our lock, you know, because these two locks here are going to be off, because I'm going to paint this door in place. I don't know when I'm going to paint that. I was thinking of having a nice easy day today, because I stayed here till at least, what was it, 8 o'clock before I left. So when I first started painting these with my mini roller, and before I did the mini roller, I had to use a paintbrush and paint all of these in here, boom, 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 on front and back side of all the doors. Okay, once I did all that, that took me a while in itself. Once I did all that, then I was ready for the paint roller. Okay, so by the time I got to start on just the rolling for the mini roller, it was like 4 o'clock, and I got out of here at 8. So in 4 hours, I did all of these doors with the mini roller on both sides, on the edges, and the back side, the front side, the panels, all that, got it all cleaned up. 4 hours. I thought that was pretty good. And so I'm a little tuckered out today. So I don't think I'm going to get into the paint today. I think I might save this door and paint this door tomorrow, which is no biggie. I'm gonna be a sweeping fool here in a minute. All right. So that's what's on my agenda today. What are you doing? I hope you're doing something good. Well, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos.